Our focus is on the latest power struggle between the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, and Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, over the political control of the state. Following the just concluded LG polls on Saturday, where Governor Fubara's proxy party, the Action People's Party, was declared winner of the council polls, after Governor Fubara defied all odds to conduct the local government elections. The State Independent Electoral Commission declared APP winner of 22 out of the 23 chairmanship seats in the state. The election took place despite protests by members of the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress (APC, as well as refusal of the police to provide security, citing a ruling by the Federal High Court. Let's share the story about the election with you. Now, right back.
The following candidates, having scored majority of lawful or valid votes cast in 2/3 of the respective wards comprising their respective local government areas of Rivers State, are hereby returned as elected chairmen or chairwomen. They are 1. Abua Odua, Ruben Vincent Obo, APP, Obiakpo Ihunwo Kemzinum Chijoke, APP, Ogwegwe Mandone, Umejuru Nwabu Homa Isaac, APP. The details of the statistics of the respective scores shall be published in RISEC website and the media, and they will be made available to the public and all contestants.
I want to assure you that I still remain a member of PDP. But the truth remains, desperate situation requires desperate measures. We were confronted with a situation where the local government of this state was heading to doom. And the truth about it is, because of the genuine love that we have for this state, we must salvage the local government council. And what we did with the support of the Rivers people was to salvage the local government council.
There you have it. Joining me for this conversation tonight is Honorable Solomon Bob, representing Abua Odua and Ahwada East constituency in the House of Representatives, as we review the just concluded local government election in Rivers State. Honorable, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Politics Tonight. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, thank you, Jumake. Nice to see you again.
Right. So there was a lot of political drama days before the local government election, which eventually took place. We had PDP versus APC over voters register. We had the PDP-APC threatening to boycott the election. There was a case of conflicting judgments. But at the end of the day, Governor Fubara matched his words with action. That election took place. And APP won 22 out of the 23 LG areas. How do you describe that local government election?
Well, it was an utter sham, an utter charade. I am surprised. I have a lot of problem with you media people. You see a charade, you see a sham, you call it an election. There was no election, really. And the super election was conducted in utter violation of a court judgment and consequential court orders. Okay? The law is clear. You cannot go and carry out an exercise or a process, I beg your pardon, without conforming in every material particular with the necessary process required for the conduct of that exercise. There was a failure by RISEC, Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, to give proper notice, requisite notice, as the law requires. Because of that, the court said, go and comply with the law, and ordered INEC not to release voters register, which in fact have not been updated, for the conduct of that so-called election. INEC complied. You are talking about election. With which register will they conduct election? What register? And you cannot go and brazenly become a law unto yourself and do. Let me tell you, what you are seeing in Rivers State today, what you saw, this spontaneous riots in the streets, is a reflection, if it's proof positive, that people have become exasperated with this Fubara man. Because he's utterly lawless. And President Tinubu has to be very careful. Because this is going to turn out to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you tolerate for so long, in the long run, you prove that you deserve it. There's a litany, and almost on any litany of lawlessness in Rivers State. This Fubara guy has orchestrated as he became governor. He goes to appeal, gives judgment or ruling. He goes to Rivers State High Court to get an order from the Rivers State High Court to challenge, or in fact, carry an order, a ruling by the Court of Appeal. You have subsequent Federal High Court judgments regarding the status of members of the Presidential Assembly, all 27 of them. Just a minute, let me land on this point before you can. No, let me land on this point, please. Just let me land on the point. I want to show you that what you are seeing, what you just saw on Saturday, is another proof positive, that the charade is one example too many. And that is why people's exasperation boiled over and they decided to go and march. That march continues today. So there was no election. There was no election. Rivers State has more than 3.5 million voters. The so-called election had less than 9,000 people who voted. 9,000 or less. That is absolutely, unacceptable. It is cheeky. This demeans us in the group of states in this country. We have been demeaned and diminished to the point now where we look like maybe banana states. What is going on in Rivers State is terrible. Every time we're in the news for the wrong reasons. All because of whom? This guy, this Fubara guy, he has no pretense whatsoever. He makes no pretense about understanding the principle of the democracy. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand it. So he acts with total disregard to them and assumes that being a governor is a mere governor. I can say that with every sense of responsibility.
All right, Honorable. Let me come in here because we still have a lot of... We still have enough time to talk about all what you think the governor must have done. But I wonder how the media comes in here. What's the role of the media? In all you've said, what's the role of the media? How did we contribute to the crisis happening in Rivers State? Our job is to report whatever we see happening on ground. So and I'm always wondering why politicians like pointing accusing fingers to the media. But then again, let's move on. Because you're one of the leading voices.
Can I just respond that quickly?
Okay.
Yeah, sure. You see, now these days, if you don't watch the news, you don't get informed. Now, if you watch the news, many times you get misinformed. The media is largely responsible for misinformation in this country. You guys have been reporting that Rivers State House of Assembly is functionalized. 27 members against 2. That's a function? They're the facts. You all saw what happened. There was no election anywhere in the proper definition of election. And you call it an election. And you just, in your intro, you said, oh, election Rivers has been done and dust and other stuff. That was no election. For how long are we going to carry on with this kind of pretense in this country? And we say, we mouth off platitudes and make glib commentary about, adhering to democracy and all that stuff.
All right,
we don't go anywhere with this kind of attitude.
I guess you've answered that, but I must say that the report we saw people queuing and voting for whatever whoever they thought they wanted to vote for. And I'm wondering I'm still wondering how the media comes in this matter. But like I said earlier, you're one of the leading voices of the Rivers State in the House of Representatives. How do you feel about all that is happening in your state? Do you feel embarrassed that Rivers State is always in the news for the wrong reasons? 2 explosions were reported over local government elections. Is this the new template?
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful question. You took that out of my mouth. I feel utterly embarrassed. I feel ashamed that we have a man like Nai Fubara as governor of Rivers State. Like I told you, he doesn't understand what democracy, rule of law, sense of justice is all about. He doesn't understand. Behind closed doors, he makes mockery of these ideas. He makes mockery of them. I have a lot of friends in his, even his innermost corners. I know what kind of thing he says. He doesn't understand. I feel embarrassed. Anytime this guy's in the news, or my state in the news now, it's for the wrong reasons. This man, has he ever provided to you media people any overarching idea of governance? No. Has he ever provided any overarching vision of governance? No. Has he enunciated any principles about what he wants to achieve, about what governance is all about? No. Has he ever sat down even one day for interview with any journalist? No. What he does is he blots out occasional bromides. He gets a microphone, goes behind the lectern, either in church or anywhere else, and blots out all manner of inanities, things you would never expect from a governor, or in fact, any political officer for that matter. And you know what he does? I have, in my time in politics, I have witnessed, predecessors, having a hard time with their successor. I've not seen in my entire life where a successor goes down every time to talk down in very unimaginable terms his predecessor. Right. He has implied that his predecessor is just a minute. He's fit for the asylum, lunatic asylum. He made that comment just recently. All of us who oppose him are fit for the lunatic asylum. Okay? He implied that all of us are empty, including his predecessor. That implied that all of us have no integrity, including his predecessor. What the hell? This man took you from obscurity. No one ever heard of Flora in his life. No one ever heard of him apart from his small village in Opobo. From obscurity, and gave you a name. Now a person that he has a name. What name did they have? And I know the effort, the toil, the sacrifice which they went through.
Because I know that just days before this election.
Let me very ashamed.
Honorable, let me come in here because I know days before that election, the State Independent Electoral Commission had said that the voter register was available with the commission, and Governor Fubara also says it was important for him to adhere to judgment. But the president has spoken. For you, how instructive is that statement?
What statement?
The president has spoken. So how instructive is that statement for you?
The statement, what statement by the president?
Made by the president. The president has asked all political actors in Rivers State to be calm.
Okay, now listen. I know I started by saying that the president should be careful, okay, so that what is going on doesn't become a self-fulfilling prophecy, okay? Because what we condone, okay, eventually prove that you deserve it. This man's, recklessness, lawlessness, impunity have been controlled for so long, since last year. I don't know of any state where this could have been tolerated. If you talk about neutrality in the face of brazen lawlessness on one part, okay, then you actually started with lawlessness. I don't know of any. Well, I've been here long enough to have seen a few presidents. I don't know of any other one who would have condoned this madness in Rivers State. Okay, where a man cherry picks. Okay, which law to respect? As a matter of fact, respect no law. As a matter of fact, let me just put that. Respect no law. So the drama in Rivers State is one of the absorbed, and it's all orchestrated by one man. His name is Nai Fubara. Okay, he wants to be the new lord of the manor. Okay, when it's very apparent, even to the blind, that he hasn't got the wherewithal to do it. I know there are a few elements who are propping him. He's bowing to external influence. All of us going on Rivers State, let me tell you, my sister, Jumoke, it is the staging post for 2027. All the elements going around him are all external forces Okay? The smart buses are supposed to be River City. They're not River people. Okay? You have the article elements. You have the LB elements. Okay? They found the convergence in the man. The thing they can use, okay, as a tool or instrument to get at wicked. And of course, ultimately.
Welcome back, everyone. Tonight, to discuss the political crisis in Rivers State, and I've been speaking with Honorable Solomon Bob, who is a House of Representatives member representing Abua, Odua, and Ahuada East Federal Constituency of Rivers State. Honorable, thank you very much for staying with us on the program. You know, I hear you keep saying Governor Fubara this, Governor Fubara that, but would it be fair for you to also talk about how the other faction contributed to this crisis? As we speak, suspected hoodlums have set ablaze a section of Moha local government secretariat in Rivers State. This is the third local government secretariat that was touched by hoodlums on Monday. Earlier also, some youth set some sections of LMA and Ikwere local government secretariats in the state on fire. As a representative of not just PDP members in your constituency, are you worried about this trend and the danger it poses for Rivers people?
So I'm worried. And I condemn every act of, brigandage and, carnage. I condemn it. But all I've been doing is try to give you the genesis of what led to where we are today. Okay, what you've seen is spontaneous people's reaction, to their exasperation with the governor's, total and total disregard for due process and rule of law, as epitomized by his decision to go ahead with so-called election in defiance of a court judgment and then consequential court order. But that said, I do not condone, everybody knows me, I do not condone irresponsible self-help. People can march, they can protest, but you should not let it become violent. You shouldn't let it turn violent, okay? But if you situate these things in the context of where every act of what's going on came to the point where we are now, you cannot but put the blame squarely on Fubara's feet. You said I seem to be blaming Fubara a lot. Yes, I do. I do that. Don't hold back. And I make no bones about it. Governor Fubara is not the only governor in this country. There are many of them, all 36 of them. Okay? I know the states. I know many states today where successors go back every minute, just about literally every minute, okay, to consult with their predecessor before they can even take the most basic of steps regarding governance. I know those who take direct instructions, order, I can speak to you, I won't name names, from their predecessors. The heavens haven't fallen. Okay? But we have in our state, unfortunately, a latter day, unknown to us, ethnic jingoists who are trying to turn the state into a we and them situation. Okay, trying to play clannish ethnic card. Okay, and turn a hitherto harmonious, peace-loving, mutually respectful people into, overnight acrimonious enemies. Okay, by pitching for one people and trying to demonize others. All that Wike had done, if you say I should apportion blame, the only blame I give to Wike is that he made this man governor. If that's a blame. All that Wike had done is make this man governor. And there's no greater love you can show to a man than to bring him from nothing to something. Even about Fubara is this man. Anyone who takes sides with Fubara in this river drama is at heart a man without principle, without values, without integrity, without trust. Because you cannot understand, no one can explain how a man who was brought from nothing to something can turn around and make it the most important thing in his entry in government house.
So Honorable, many of you keep saying a man who was brought from nothing to something. Is that his only offense?
That what?
Is that the only crime he has committed?
Who is that?
Governor Fubara. I mean, many of you continue to say he was brought from nothing to something.
There are different instances I've given you instances of his going public with unimaginable tirades. I said he has implied that his predecessor is fit for a psychiatric home. He said that last week. He said that last week. He was in a church. All of us who don't agree with him, including the predecessor, are fit for a psychiatric home. He's building one. Can you get more insulting than that, my sister? That implies that his predecessor is an empty barrel, publicly. That implies that his predecessor has no integrity, publicly. I know I can give you an instance in Kaduna State. Obasani and El-Rufai are not the best of friends. I'm not heard of Obasani one day go public to attack the integrity, the character, or try to demean El-Rufai. That's how you know people who have concoction, people who have, a sense of, what is right, what is wrong and right, people who what is wrong and right, people who are decent, who have grace in their conduct. So, anyone show me in all of this where Wike has gone wrong? If you search, apportion blame. I don't see any blame Wike in all of this. I don't see any. I said I can tell you instances in states, I won't name them now, where the former governors today still call the shots. They approve everything, from appointment to contracts. I can name all the states. Nothing near what I'm describing to you happened in River State. Nothing near that. But this man took to town and tried to annihilate the character and personality of his predecessor. That is visceral animosity, the wickedness of the highest order. If you side with Fubara, then you are at heart a visceral monster. Any man who sides with Fubara is at heart a visceral monster. All right. And it's a Judas Iscariot.
All right, Honorable. It's interesting and laughable for some of us. I mean, we always wonder how politicians do this. Governor Sim Fubara, a PDP governor, sponsored APP, an opposition party, to defeat his party in a local government election. What level of anti-party is that?
Well, I think the elements who are trying to prop him up in PDP, I understand one of them was in Port Harcourt. Governor Bala Mohammed Obashi was in Port Harcourt. To do what? He flew from Bashi to go and witness mayor, local government, and council inauguration. That is how pathetic some of this drama, have become. So the elements who are trying to prop him up, to see the structure that we now control, that's the answer for them to answer. That's the question for them to answer. If that does not qualify as anti-party, I wonder what else qualifies.
But would you agree that Governor Fubara learned from the best? I mean, Minister Wike also worked for the APC in the presidential election at the detriment of his own party, the PDP. What do you say to that? At least he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Don't you think so, Honorable?
No, first of all, the two situations are not comparable.
How okay? So?
PDP, listen, PDP breached its constitution, okay, by refusing, okay, to back a certain candidate for the presidency. And Wike made it clear that as a consequence of that breach, the chairman of the party to be zoned to that, the then chairman IU should vacate, and his house should occupy that position. They refused. We've never had it any time in our history that the two most pivotal positions in PDP, candidate of the party for presidency and chairmanship, are all in one zone. Our party recognizes, rotational, yes, between north and south. If one takes the presidency, it invariably takes the chairmanship. So it was an unusual situation where the candidate of the party, Atiku Abubakar at that time, put his feet down and said, no, I'm going to take it off. And Wike was clear, look, I'm not going to accept this. If you don't let this man leave and the South produce a chairmanship candidate, lead to some sort of assuage the temper that had flared as a result of the presidency being, the tickets being once again taken by Northerner, I would not play. He didn't hide it. So it was his action followed PDP's neglect or rejection of its own zoning principle. These are not comparable, I'm sorry. Not comparable.
But Honorable, it's expected that you would defend that, but some other persons, it's same or same.
But it's a fact. This is a fact. It's not a fact. The fact out there. It's a fact.
But really, how democratic is it that APP won 22 out of the 23 local government areas, 314 out of 319 councillorship seats in that election? What kind of democracy is that? And also, how do you assess the role of the police days before the election? We heard Governor Fubara's frustration at how it looked like the police were biased. He outrightly went for the IGP and says Rivers State is his property. Meanwhile, the first PRO says the institution was only following the orders of the court, and because some say the election was free and fair, perhaps militarization of our election is no longer needed. How do you examine all the scenarios that played out?
I think that the police responded to, I'm not in the country at the moment, but I read that the IGP responded to the governor's, tantrums. So I'm not going to speak for the police. But what I know is that you keep referring to what happened as an election, and Governor Bara's preferred party won XYZ number of seats. They went to government house and wrote names. That's what happened. Let me tell you. Nobody quarrels with the fact that they could have taken all the seats, even if there was a proper election, okay? Or the election had respected the process. Our problem is that you cannot act in blatant disregard of the law regarding elections, ambush a process, and then maybe if you like a day or two, you have election. The law requires a certain number of days of notice to be given to parties which, participate in elections. Okay, such notice was not given. That was the basis upon which they looked into the election that was coming. I said, no, this election is a violation of the law during election. I said, hold on, not that you have no elections, go and comply with the necessary steps. Okay, precedent to an election, then you can go and have the election. Excuse me. So it didn't matter that you could have taken all this. We know how council elections are conducted in this country. Okay, any party in power at that level takes everything. Okay, but the problem we have in Rivers State is the brazen and the mindless, disregard for the electoral law. And this is one, like I said, one more act of lawlessness too many. As well, stir the people to march in a spontaneous manner to condemn what they have seen as an unending regime of irresponsibility on the part of the government.
We heard what the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, said about the process of that election. He blamed the judiciary. But is there any iota of truth in how former Vice President Atiku Abubakar had analyzed the outcome of that election? He says the outcome has shown an end to political intimidation. He says this would pave the way for the noble pursuit of governance to commence in the state. So is this an indication that Minister Wike has lost out? Is this an indication that he has eventually lost his very precious political structure, which he has been doing all he can to protect?
Wike cannot lose out, okay? We can't lose out. I dare anyone to call for election tomorrow in Rivers State, fair elections, and see what will happen. Fubara and his co-host will be put out, can I assure you. Wike is in firm control of Rivers State. I have no doubt about that. Nobody shall be any illusions. Okay? Yeah. Now, regarding the article, what do you expect him to say? I talked about Fubara being hosted to external influences. I think it was one of them. Bola Mohammed and Co. These are the elements who are purely crashing in Rivers State, giving him all the support he needs to go against his maker. I say maker advisedly, not in terms of God who makes us, but just about everything about Fubara was made by Wike. These are the persons, latter-day friends or political associates or leaders, whom is bowing to. It tells you about the integrity or lack of it of a man, okay, who can do this, who can attempt to do thing like this, the man who made him, and then go and fetch new friends. There is nothing Atiku would have said. Okay, what's happened in Rivers State to them is victory. Okay, but we'll know when the time for the real call comes. Who is the real control of Rivers State? Wike is a force of nature.
Honorable, I wonder what you mean by that. But what's next for the PDP? The election is done and dusted. The newly elected chairman have been sworn in, but the PDP has dominated politics of Rivers State since 1999. So what factors can you say, can you attribute to this? Is this still the Wike factor? Is that about to change? Do you still regard Governor Fubara as a member of the PDP? What next for the PDP?
The PDP is strong and is led by Wike, okay? And for the foreseeable future, it will continue to be the dominant party in Rivers State, okay? So long as it is led by Wike, because Wike, like I said, is a force of nature. Is the biggest politician ever produced by not just Rivers State, the entire South since I became conscious of politics. Okay, his nous, his know-how is unparalleled. I have no doubt in my mind at all. Forget the current shenanigans and the what you are calling an election, the charade. Forget it. I said I wish that we have federal elections tomorrow in Rivers State. Now you will see what happen. Okay, so PDP is strong because it's led by the strongest and the most savvy politician I've seen. And I've been around politics for a while. Okay, down South. Because he's led by such a man, we are strong. We have no trepidations, we have no worries. Okay, what you are seeing is a little passing phase. Okay. When the time comes, we'll tell you, you will know, you will see who is in charge of Rivers State.
All right.
Okay, so, yeah.
Anyway, we're not going anywhere, so we'll be here to see. But then I wanted to say that if you were to have a sit down with both men, what would you be telling them? But now I know where you stand. Irrespective of that, many say Nyesom Wike is bigger than the PDP, and that's why he gets away with a lot of things. And Governor Fubara has just stepped into the same shoe. But let's expand this conversation. Let's talk about the future of State Independent Electoral Commission in Nigeria. For you, reform or abolish?
Well, unfortunately, first, I am an unrepentant federalist. I'm a constitutional lawyer, and I know what federalism and what it means. What we are running today, is a centralist, non-federal structure. It's only a federal structure by name. In every material substantive, it's a unitary system. And that is one of the reasons why I call on President Tinubu to take steps to actually, reform this country constitutionally, restructure this country constitutionally. The beats here and there of economic reform can only go so far. The superstructure in any country is politics. Everything else pales into insignificance. We need that. If you don't reform politics and get your structure right, nothing can work. This country will only be treading water. We'll tread water for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, who knows? We don't reform. So, as an unrepentant federalist,
all right.
My head is that, council elections ought to be conducted by states.
Okay.
Okay? But my heart, because of what is going on in the states, tells me a different thing. And I say my head tells me something because all over the world, no country runs a federal system the way we are doing. And if we want to properly run a country as a federation, as the Constitution envisages, I think under Section 2 or so, okay, we wouldn't be doing what we are doing now. Okay, I have my issues with respect to even the Supreme Court judgment talking about, autonomy and all that stuff. I have bills, all my bills in the House I'm sponsoring, I have sponsored pertain to the need to really recalibrate a federal structure and make it a true federal structure and strengthen it. And then move away from the current unitary system we falsely call a federation.
So, Honorable, in our bid to restructure and modernize local government administration, how do we ensure that what we witnessed in Rivers State does not lay a bad precedent for upcoming local government elections in the country?
I don't know what you want me to say about that. If we
okay, so let me expatiate, because We had elections in Rivers, Jigawa, and Benue. All held their local government polls on Saturday. And there were some level of complaints here and there. So would you say that perhaps the method of appointment of members of CX need to be revisited and subject to more scrutiny by other levels or arms of government to check governors' powers to appoint and dismiss at will?
Well, if the structure, the power structure in the states remain the way they are, it doesn't matter who appoints them, same things will happen. I've always advocated for quite a while now, we need to revisit the Constitution and do a comprehensive review of the Constitution. There's no country anywhere in the world where governors enjoy the kind of powers they enjoy here in this country. There's none. There is none. Why, for instance? Because they know they cannot be accountable criminally or civilly while in office. So they engage in all manner of intolerable behavior. Why on earth, for instance, would the governor have immunity for criminal and civil prosecution? It is absolutely insane. The deputy governor, same thing. It's insane. No country does that. You know, so there's so much you can do. If you are talking about, you want it's a country where people are living in has scrabble poverty. And then you create oases of impunity, of lawlessness, of obscene corruption. If you're looking for corruption, I know we get a lot of stick, National Assembly, oh, they are taking a lot of money. The real money, the real thieves are in the government houses in the states. So you are creating oases of corruption, untouchable. And then you are going around scrabbling for, how to get those who are, picking penny. So unless we readdress, and I'm using the chance again to call on President Tinubu to live up to the ethos he used to mouse before he became president. Submit a comprehensive constitutional reform proposal to the House and Senate for consideration. Let's change this country trajectory. We're not going anywhere with this nonsense going on here. We're not going anywhere. The governors are acting like, lost unto themselves. Okay? And we talk a lot about, so much power in Abuja. That is true. That needs to go. We need to have find a way to whistle powers, down from that end, from the center there. But more importantly, how the resources of states are managed away from the exclusive control of one man, the governor, needs to be looked into, needs to be addressed. For so long as they have that financial control over the state's purse, for so long with all these things you're talking about, it doesn't matter who appoints. If the money is all with the governor, he can see influence, who he wants to influence regarding what he wants as the outcome of state elections.
Okay. Honorable, as a federal lawmaker, I expect that you should be bothered about the impact of this crisis on the development of River State. And I would like to hear you speak to that. And this is me bringing in recent development from the House of Assembly. The Martin Amewule-led River State House of Assembly has declared that the recently constituted River State Investment Promotion Agency by Governor Fubara is illegal. The House is saying all appointments made by the governor related to the board were not recognized by law. And it was also in July the House wrote to the governor. In that letter, the House gave the governor a 7-day ultimatum to come and represent the budget. But the governor didn't move a muscle. But why do Rivers people have to suffer? Because they have political leaders. Well,
yes, it goes without saying that the current imbroglio in Rivers State, has affected adversely the economic fortunes of our state. Okay, and that is why I spoke earlier about the seeming tolerance of President Tinubu and his team of all this, all this nonsense going on in Rivers State. The House in Rivers State has passed a lot of important resolutions and passed a lot of laws, all aimed at, setting Rivers on a good path. But when they move one step forward, the governor takes 5 steps backwards. You are living witnesses, to the situation in a state in which I'm happy that in your analysis just now, you never said that, I refer to it as Martin Amewule-led function, because that is what some media outlets have been doing, which really sickens me. You can't have a 32-member house and call 2 or 3 members who on the other side a function. It's gross irresponsibility on the part of the governor not to understand that politics is a strategic workaround around communication and consultation. You can't get it all in politics. The moment you disagree, politics is about disagreeing to agree, agreeing to disagree, and stuff like that. When you don't get what you want, you move the bar to a certain level, consult, communicate. But these two languages, these two expressions are strange to him, or is a stranger to them. So he doubles down on some kind of obduracy, primitive obduracy, I should say, that you find it difficult to even understand where it's coming from. It's either my way or no way. I mean, who does that in democracy? So the House in Rivers State, under the circumstances, current circumstances, is doing really well. It's been shackled by a governor who thinks that he's above House Assembly members, whereas in actual fact, they are co-equals in the construct of governance. They are co-equals. They can remove him. You can't remove them.
All right, Honorable. I mean, I'm sure you would agree with me that Rivers people are tired, and I'm sure Nigerians are also tired of this crisis in Rivers State. And it is expected that every political actor in that state embraces peace. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I've been speaking with Honorable Solomon Abua, federal lawmaker representing Abua, Odua, and Ahwada East Federal Constituency of Rivers State. Thank you so much for your time with us. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Jumoke. Thank you very much.